Morning to you. It's Thursday, the 21st of June 2018. Yes, gang, it is the summer solstice. Today, it is as light as it is dark is that right? It's as light as it is dark in equal amounts. I remember this time last year. Ray Reynolds, who's always king of happiness, was very quick to point out that the days get shorter from now on. I mean, how miserable can you be? We need to be happy, dear. Happy people, happy people. I know someone that's very happy at the moment, my dear friend Danny Gibbs, who has adopted a cat called Pancake. There is Pancake the cat, and has now settled in to his new home with my good friend Danny. Pancake is now owning the house. I've also seen a picture of him taking over Danny's settee. We love cats. Yeah. What about Jac Naylor on Holby City last night? Yeah, they moved it. They moved it from Tuesday to Wednesday for 2 weeks. Oh, 'cause of the World Cup. We all want to watch the football. No, we don't. We want to watch Holby City, please. Jac Naylor's had her operation, and it didn't work. It hasn't worked properly, or at least the first half of it. If I can just fill you in, for those of you, those very, very few of you that don't watch Holby City, Jac Naylor is like, she's a big doctor. Not big as in size, not as in fat, but, big up there. You would want your operation to be carried out by Jac Naylor. Anyway, a few months ago, she got shot in the back, right? And now she's in constant pain. This mad doctor who has to push boundaries, okay, has got this method of planting in stem cells in your body to fix whatever it is that is wrong with you. And these stem cells, apparently, from what I can work out, I'm not a medical person. I'm not a doctor. Don't come and ask me to do an internal for you. I'm not going to do one. Not going to do an internal for you or anyone else, come to that. So these stem cells, you plant them in someone. These are, body cells, and then they grow, from what I gather, to the purpose that they are supposed to be. For example, back ones go in your back. I mean, it wouldn't be called a back one. It'd be called a spine one or something like that, okay? If you had something wrong with your eye, you'd have eye stem cells planted in your eye, and they would regrow and fix whatever it is that's done. So she's got back ones. This mad doctor reckon he's got a way of making it work. So he's been doing these trials. And so far, I think 4 out of 5 of his patients who have been on the trials have died. And he's trying to keep this from Jac Naylor. Yes. Anyway, so and there's another doctor involved, a young doctor, right? Who the mad doctor is not actually. Well, I suppose he is a bit mad, really. When I come to think of it, yeah, he does come across as a bit mad, a bit like myself. I mean, we're all mad, aren't we? Who wants to be normal and sensible? How boring would that be? I mean, if you was boring and sensible, you'd be on BBC One hosting a show, wouldn't you? Like that, like those people on the One Show. Oh, good morning and welcome to the One Show. We're all plastic and we're actually being told what to say, and we're weeding off an auto script. So it's not really us anyway. But we think you'll like this programme because it's bland and boring and politically correct, and we don't want to offend anyone. How boring is that? How boring is that? It sounds like a world full of millennials, like to me. I can't think of anything worse. A world full of millennials. Can you? Oh, we're really offended. Oh, you shouldn't say that. Oh, that's this. Oh, that's that. Oh, you're against cats. Oh, give it a rest. Back to the story. So this other younger doctor who's working on the project as well has realised that there's a connection between all these people that have died, and she's trying to get the operation with Jac Naylor stopped. Well, of course, the mad doctor doesn't like this, and he told her to get off the case, to just go. Anyway, as things happened and things like that, and they kind of done half the operation, but then they had to put something else in, and it turns out this thing that they're putting in, I can't remember what it was called, some sort of No, can't remember. This thing that they put it in is the thing causing the problem. It seems to be getting viruses or something like that in it, and then you put it in and then a person dies. 4 out of 5 of his people have died, or whatever the figure is. I don't know the exact figure. So they do half the operation, and then Jac Naylor comes round and he says, "Can you feel your feet?" No, she can't feel them. Push them to one side. I'm holding your feet now. Push them outwards. And she said, "Well, I am." And there's nothing happening. No. So then it turns round, and then eventually they tell her that this thing is causing a problem. And she said, "Don't you think I knew that in the first place?" And he says, "What do you mean?" She says, "I'm willing to take the risk, basically. I'm all in." So then they go ahead and continue with the operation, put the other thing in. And Jac Naylor, the feeling has come back to her feet again. But we don't know. Is it going to kill her in a few weeks' time? But at least she's had the operation now. Jac Naylor in Holby City has had the operation at last. Good luck. I like Jac Naylor. I would want her. Well, I mean, she's only an actress, of course. She's not a real doctor. I hate to break this to you, boys and girls. A lot of people watch the telly and they think that that person on the telly, is that person in real life. Oh, yes, there's been cases of people playing murderers and, paedophiles and things like that. And then these actors are out in the street and people attack them, dear. Of course, it doesn't happen to me. Because I'm just your friendly boy next door, aren't I? That's me, friendly boy next door. Let's say hello to some people this morning. Good morning to you and welcome to the show. Hello to... Oh, there he is. Danny Gibbs is there. Did you get the first message in today, Danny? Let me see. You did. Danny Gibbs got the first message in today. He is the new Father Danny of... There's more to that, actually, than meets the... Father Danny of Pancake fame. He is now a father to Pancake the cat. He had adopted. Good morning, Danny. Good morning to Andy. Diane Jeb. Good morning, Diane. All right, love. Gary Stevens is loving the flowers at the beginning of the show. Thank you, Gary. We do like to be in full bloom here, boys. We are in full bloom this morning. Gary's going to... Are you up in Blackpool? I've still got this frog in my throat. I think it's something to do with the early mornings. I don't know. I mean, by the end of the day, it's usually disappeared. But certainly while I'm talking to you, I keep getting this cough. I've got a button here, so I can push this and you can't hear me coughing. Watch this. You couldn't hear any of that, could you? And quite frankly, it's a good job you couldn't. It's called a cough button. They have it at all the big radio stations, LBC, Talk Radio, BBC Radio 5, Live Radio 4. They've all got cough buttons. I've got one as well. Don't think I've got anything less than the rest of them, dear. No, I've never been to Blackpool, Gary. Oh, you're not going on that thing, are you? Go up and up and up and up and up and up and... Whoa. No, we don't do roller coasters. Can you just imagine me and you on a roller coaster? Oh, my God. I don't think I would like that. I don't do roller coasters. I really don't. Even we went on a kids one in Legoland and I hated that as well. There's these little kids on there, 5, 6 years old. Me screaming next to my nephew, my great nephew, George. Got chucked off that for having a camera on. Excuse me, sir. I'll have to ask you to leave the ride. Because I have my camera in my hand. Apparently, they had told us not to use our cameras. I didn't know. I didn't hear anyone say that. Cheek. Could you leave the ride, please, sir? I hope they didn't take a photo of me as well. Well, if I'm recognised as I go back in Lego... Well, of course, I probably will be anyway. As one of Bracknell's brightest stars. That's what I am. A bright star of Bracknell. Good morning to Ray Reynolds. On this longest day. Yes, it's the longest day of the year today. And don't worry, I intend to be on air for as long as possible, boys and girls, all right? Good morning to the lovely Billy Mack, who made an appearance at Central Station this week. Morning. It was lovely to see you, Billy, actually. He came and sung, I think you did one song. Can't remember. What song was it you did, Billy? Did you enjoy it? Billy came... Was it Friday you came? I think you came along Friday, didn't you, to the karaoke? I've got some caravan news coming up. I haven't actually bought a caravan yet, but something that's happened. Something that's happened that I think is supposed to have happened. Okay, so I'll come on to that in a bit. Danny Gibbs is very pleased. Actually, I've got another photo of the cat. Do you want to see the other photo? Pancake the cat. Hang on. So that's the one. Okay, that's the one. Now I've got to change the photo somehow. I've got to work out how to do this. Hang on a minute. Image 2. One moment, please. I've got another photo of the cat I picked up. Here it is. I think that's the one there. Let's see if that works. Yes, it does. There we go. There's another picture of the cat there. Oh, what do I do there? Hang on a minute. Transform. Fit to screen. There we are. It's Pancake the cat on Danny's very clean settee. Look at that. Oh, no, it's not the velour. Have you got a velour settee, Danny? That's a bit of a dull colour, isn't it, Danny? What a dull-coloured settee you've got. You were never dull when you were living here. Danny lived with me for a little while, didn't he? Yes. And you were never dull. Why have you got a dull-coloured settee? You need to get some covers for that, dear. You know, bright colours, that's what we need. A nice yellow. How about a yellow or white with red polka dots? You know, being as you're a Corbynist. Yes, boys and girls, I have to out Danny. He is a Labour supporter watching this programme. Where will it all end? We can't have Labour supporters watching this programme. Are you growing a little beard as well? Oh, I want to look like Jeremy. I've got a little beard. And don't forget, don't smile. Jeremy never smiles. Do not smile. We love your new cat, Danny. We absolutely adore your new cat, Pancake. Has he now taken over the house? That is the question. I bet he has. He taken over the house? They start walking around the house like they own it. My mate's cats, he's got 4 cats. It's actually Ronnie. There's Louis and Vuitton. They're ginger cats. Vuitton don't like people. He don't want to be picked up or stroked. And when you go to stroke, he backs away like that. He's a bit miserable. Then there is Lauren. She's the only girl, and she is super ultra friendly. She loves being picked up and stroked and sitting on laps. Oh, she loves people. And then there is Ralph the cat. Now, Ralph is also friendly. He's the big cat. And he walks in and out the house like he owns it. Absolutely. But spends most of his time asleep. Each cat has its own personality, doesn't it? We love cats. We absolutely love cats. Good morning, Antonio. Wherefore art thou, Antonio? Did you see me doing Shakespeare then? Look at that. I could be at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre if only I could understand a damn word that was going on. What's that about? Shakespeare. It's another language, isn't it? I don't understand Shakespeare. It doesn't do anything for me. Loving the summer wall. Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, the summer wall. Ray Reynolds. Alan Sugar's tweet was for... I don't know anything about tweets, I'm afraid. I don't really go on Twitter. I have Twitter. And what I do, work-wise, is advertised on Twitter. But that's about as far as it goes. I've no interest in Twitter at all, I'm afraid. I've tried to get into it, but I can't get into it. You know, I heard these bloke on LBC at the weekend, Nick Abbott, and he's always going on about Twitter and how you can spend hours. You can go on Twitter like 11 o'clock in the morning and start looking, and then suddenly 2 hours has passed. You know, just because you're being nosy on other people's lives. Isn't that strange and mysterious? Why do you want to know what? I don't know, what Katy Perry's had for breakfast, or what swear word, I don't know, someone else has just said. Or what Mr. Trump has just tweeted. Why do you want to know all this information all the time? Just constant information. So I've never really got into Twitter. So I haven't heard that story at all, Ray, okay? Good morning to Kevin Webster joining us tonight. Ray Balesco, good morning. It's Ray's birthday today. I know that because I was preparing earlier for the birthdays. We read all the birthdays out at the end of the show. Ray is a very dear friend of mine. Have you got to 50 yet, Ray? I don't think you're 50. I imagine you're about 43, Something like that. I'll find out in a minute when I check the birthdays. Anyway, good morning, Ray. Ray used to come along to the Black Cab. He dances on the stage to the Bee Gees, Tragedy, an all-round nice guy, Ray. Good morning. Billy, how's my green-haired barman from Central Station? Honestly, Billy, I've got to tell you, boys and girls, Billy is over 40. He's chasing around after this 18-year-old who's just started working behind the bar, etc. You should be ashamed of yourself, Billy. Ashamed of yourself, dear. Really, honestly. Find someone your own age. Not me. I don't want anyone my own age. Good morning to Gary Butler. Good morning, nephew Gary. He's here today. Ray, went to see the Golden Girls last night. Was it good? Did you enjoy it, Ray? That's the sort of thing you like. I never watched Golden Girls when it was on the telly. It was a big programme, especially for the gays, wasn't it? Especially for the gays. The Golden Girls was very popular. Yeah. Never saw it myself. Ross, can I have a Chris Reardon car sticker? Well, where did you get that from? There aren't any car stickers. Car stickers, dear? Car stickers? Listen, Ross, if I had car stickers to give away, it wouldn't be going on an old banger like yours. My car stickers would be reserved for people's with Bentleys and Rolls Royces only. Not Ferraris, and certainly not Porsches. I think Porsches and Ferraris and Lamborghinis, they are just... they're flash cars. You want to be flash, then buy one of those. If you want a bit of class, you have a Bentley or a Rolls Royce. Anything else like that? Rolls Royce. I don't know what else. You know the sort of car I mean. That's what you'd have. And my car stickers would be reserved for such cars. You know, not like an old rusty Ford Fiesta or something like that, what you probably got, Ross. Huh? Has it got I bet it's got a take-out radio as well, isn't it? What have you got as an aerial? What have you got as an aerial in your car, Ross? Is it like an adjusted coat hanger? Have you got a coat hanger? Oh, bless Ross. He's not very bright up here, Ross, bless his heart, love. I mean, he has got a coat hanger for an aerial, but he's got a wooden one and it doesn't quite work. Ross, do you know what I mean? You've got to have a metal one, dear. It doesn't matter as much as you've tried adjusting that wooden coat hanger, which you're trying to use on an aerial. I'm afraid it's never going to work, lovey. It really isn't. Good morning to Childers Jason. Good morning, Childers. Morning, Ben Parker. How dare you call Don's an old banger? I'm not calling your lovely wife an old banger. Your car, dear. The one with the wooden coat hanger aerial that you can't get to work, strangely enough. Has anyone told you that wood doesn't conduct electricity? I mean, look, do this with your own head, Ross. Take an electrical lead and put it into your mouth and switch the power on, right? You won't get any electrical current because your head is wood as well, isn't it, dear? Tape player and joke. It's got... Ross's car is so old and so decrepit, it's got a choke in it and a tape player. Do you remember the chokes? You had to pull that thing out, didn't you? My dad had one. I had an old transit van years ago that I used to do my mobile discos in. It was full of, it was full up, this transit van, speakers and lights. Ben Parker does mobile discos and he's got a load of lights and endless sound equipment, much more than I've got. I used to have all that, but gradually over the years I've either given away or taken it down the dump because I just don't do mobiles anymore. Ben's got it all. And I had a transit van full of this stuff. And on this transit van, it had an automatic choke, right? So you'd start the car up, and it would go the transit van. Sorry, the transit, and you'd go down the road, and within a couple of minutes, it would start. You could feel it holding back. You know, you'd be putting this accelerator down, and nothing was happening, and that's because there was an automatic choke, and it would get stuck. And the automatic choke was directly under the not air conditioning, air filter. And it was quite a simple thing, and I knew what the problem was. You would literally stop the van, open the bonnet, put it up, pull off the air filter, and then there would be like this flap like that, like a tube like that, and a flap, right? And you would simply push the flap down, and that would open it. And then all would be fine again. And of course, the only time it happened quite often, but it was always raining whenever I had to do it. Whenever the sun was out and it was a lovely day, which it looks like it's going to be today, whenever the sun was out, it never happened. Only happened when it was very dark and very wet outside and his choke used to get stuck. Look, Ben's got a Transit Connect. I quite like vans. I do like vans. You can get a van really cheap as well, can't you? I mean, a lot cheaper than my car. Maybe I should get a van next. I wouldn't have any problem with getting a van which was like half batteries, so you could have an electric van. That would be quite good. But the battery technology is coming along now quickly. We'll soon have, smaller batteries so that we can get sort of mass-produced electric cars with not massive batteries in. I mean, you can get them now, but they're an arm and a leg. They're like... the one bloke at the pub on Monday, I don't know if you knew, those of you that were outside Central Station on Monday may have seen the Tesla X outside. Yes, 80 grand's worth of car. And they do like 300 odd miles on a single charge. Beautiful car, but so expensive. So expensive. And I was saying to the bloke, I found out who owned it. And I was saying to him, that's my car. I got a Toyota RAV4 thing. And that's a hybrid, so halfway house sort of thing. And I said, is the interior of your car as big as mine? He looked at mine and he said, well, yes. He said, all the back folds down. So probably it is the same size inside, but it's low. See, and I don't like going in a low car anymore. I had a Toyota Yaris, and before that I had a Yaris, and before that I had what's the little one? The Audi, Igo, and I had an Igo before that, and they're all very low down. My best mate had one that was even lower, like a BMW sports car. Now he's just changed his car. He's got a new BMW, and it's one where you have to go up a bit. It's nowhere near as low as the sports cars. I hate sitting on the floor, didn't you? You got that road underneath you going at 70 mile an hour, and that much between you and your road. What if the bottom of the car jumps out? My bummer gets scratched to bits, dear. Awful. Ross wants a Chris Reardon calendar. I haven't got any Chris Reardon calendars, I'm afraid. I've got nothing here. Nothing here. Ben says, if the battery goes wrong in an electric car, the problem is a 200-mile extension lead costs a fortune. Actually, there's an idea, Ben. We could probably... Now, here's an interesting thought. You could probably actually host a karaoke night by internet now, couldn't you? There could be a screen on the stage at Central Station with my little face beaming out and cameras so I could watch the audience, and I could just sit here and call the people up. Wouldn't have to get in the car. I mean, I'd happily give them a discount of £5 to save me going in and out of London for 2 hours a time. Dear me. How is your morning going? Very well, thank you, Childers. I got up about 8 o'clock this morning. I've had my breakfast. I've done some plant watering outside. I'm having to water the plants a lot. It's bone dry here. We haven't had rain here for weeks. Seriously. My water butts have been empty now for about 4 or 5 weeks. We've had no rain whatsoever, and I generally don't water the lawn. I think that's a bit of a waste. You've got that thing going backwards and forwards for like half hour, 45 minutes to give it a good drenching. And but I do go around and try and water the plants, usually, funnily enough, with a watering can. I've got a big watering can. I fill it up and I go outside and I water, and I fill it up and I go outside and I water. I keep doing this like 10 times, right? Or I've got one of those things on the end of the hose where you go to hit the thing and squeeze it and the water comes out in like a spray. So I've got that as well. But yes, especially the hanging baskets, which are starting to move now. The hanging baskets, they've been up for a couple of weeks and they don't do much at first. They just sit there and think, oh, are these going to grow? And then suddenly they go mad. I've got one right at the top, a hanging begonia, which I managed to keep going from last year. I was hoping to keep them all going from last year, but it didn't happen. What I did... When the growing season was over, I took the begonias down. I didn't take the leaves off, and I simply put them in the lean-to, which is like a shed next to my house. And I thought, well, I'll just leave them there. They'll die down and dry out, and then I'll replant them. So come time to make my hanging baskets, I went into the lean-to, got them out, and I thought, well, there's nothing on top, but the roots will be underneath. There was nothing there. They just turned to dust. Like we will all do one day, unless you decide to be cremated. It was just dust. It was just earth. So I don't know what happened. My mate says you should have watered them slightly throughout the winter. I don't know if that's right or not, if we've got any of the gardeners watching this morning. Can we just say hello to the people on YouTube as well? Good morning to Weird City Citizen. Good morning to you, who says, I'm as mad as a hatter, as mad as a frog on a bicycle, but I am happy. I'm sure this is the secret to being happy, being a bit mad. I really do believe that. Just a suggestion. Good morning to Paul Mosley. Morning, Paul. I don't know if you've I didn't know you prepared for the show, Chris. I beg your pardon. Of course I do. I don't just come up here and switch on and start. I've got all this papers, all this stuff to read out. I've got loads of news stories on my where is it? Number 2, that one. Look here. Can you see all those news stories here? Look. Let me flash them. Look, I've got all these news stories, none of which we'll probably do, because I'm so busy chatting. Personal assistant here, something about a fox, something about games, something about chicken, commuting to London, revellers celebrating the long hot summer ahead, Subway, pin numbers, Burger King, and the Facebook thing. It's all there in front of me, dear. There's probably, I would say, there's probably about 3 hours worth of stuff that I have in front of me to do a half-hour show. In case I worry. I worry that I'm going to run out of things to say, then I can refer to my news stories. It's mad, isn't it? And I always chuck away 80% of what I've prepared. How mad is that? Can I have a Chris Reardon keyring? There are no Chris Reardon keyrings, Paul. There's nothing, I'm afraid. We can't afford to give out little mementos left, right and centre. What? Hello to Tony Power. Do you remember the old car adverts on TV back in the 70s and 80s, like a Chrysler Sunbeam? Yes. Put a Chrysler Sunbeam in your life. It will put a smile on your face. Remember that one? I don't remember that one, to be honest. No. I remember British Leyland. Oh, I remember those. Drive a British car with British Leyland Super. I wonder if it's on YouTube. YouTube. One moment, please. I shall now have a look. Good morning to Joanna, who joins us this morning. Morning, Joanna. Let's see if we can find the British Leyland advert. And who's sending a text in? That's probably our friend Maureen. There she is. Good morning, Maureen. Thank you for getting up the song for me. Also, finding the flamingo. The flamingo appears by request of Maureen this morning. She wanted the flamingo. She wasn't happy that had been moved, so it's back in view. Not forever, for a little period of time. Let's see if we can find this. British Leyland. British Leyland. No, we want a British Leyland. The Quality Connection? British Leyland TV advert. Let's have a listen to this. You'll love the jingle. You'll love the jingle.
This Allegro is the best foreign car I've ever owned.
It's got to hold 5 people in comfort, mind.
5
and
people.
Do 0 to 60 in about 9 seconds.
Well, even they got
British Leyland. Here it comes. Here comes the jingle. Here comes the jingle.
Box, adjustable steering wheel, not as extras.
That's just the advert
The
plan.
doors at the flick of a switch.
Here it comes.
Slow down, Neville. There's a fire.
And 5 doors and reclining
Oh, come
seats.
on. Where's the bloody jingle?
Princess, Morris,
Here we go, here we go.
Jaguar,
Here we go, here we go,
MG,
here we go.
Cars, Austin, MG, Triumph, Mini, Jaguar, Daimler, Princess, Morris, Rover. All with super cover. Great cars and a great deal more.
Leyland Cars. We had the best jingles here in the UK. Jingles on TV ads. What's happened to all those wonderful little tunes that were written for advertising products? Some of you don't know. Barry Manilow wrote a lot of TV jingles in the States. Did you know that? No. There's an interesting thing. Tony Power says the Chrysler song is on YouTube. Oh, is it really? The Chrysler song? Let's see if I can find it. Have you got a link there? Oh, let's have a look. Chrysler song. Chrysler. Would that be 70s Chrysler advert? See if I can find that as well. CR Chrysler 1970s. Let's see if I can find anything on that. The Chrysler lineup sales features 1970 original colour commercial. Let's have a listen to this one. I don't know this one, to be honest. Here we go.
Make the move, moving up, make the move.
Your next car is Chrysler.
No, I don't like that one, darling. It's not like the British Leyland one. That's very boring, the Chrysler one. Was that the right one? Weird City Citizen said the best theme was White's Lemonade. I'm a secret lemonade drinker. The old bloke going to the fridge and all that with the dark rimmed glasses on, wasn't he? Excellent. John Aitken said, I met the guy that wrote the Flake jingle. Oh, yes. Only the crumbliest, flakiest chocolate tastes like chocolate never tasted before. I remember them. They all come back into your head, don't they? Huh? They all come into your head. Good morning, Paul Dale. Put a tiger in your tank. Look what I got here, Paul. Yes, I've got my back scratcher that you gave me. Paul gave me this last week. Look at this. My new back scratcher and grabber. A grabber. Put a tiger in your tank. That would be Esso, of course. Yes. What's that Ben Parker sending there? One moment, please. Oh, let's just try and grab that and put that on there. Or that might have been a bit... Was it one of the other ones that I've already played, Ben? Let's see. Oh, no, what's this? Chrysler Sunbeam with Petula Clark.
It'll put a smile on your face. It's the car that gives you the glow that will show when you go any place.
The new Chrysler Sunbeam gives up to 50 miles to the gallon.
50 miles to the gallon!
Only once a year or 10,000 miles. And driving it is sheer enjoyment. You can see the Sunbeam at your Chrysler dealer right now.
Put a Chrysler Sunbeam in your life.
Put a Chrysler Sunbeam in your... We need to get money for all this. I'm giving all this free advertising away. Very dramatic music, Paul. Oh, well, my my favourite adverts... Funny how we got onto the subject of adverts for this, wasn't it? I loved the adverts for Smash Mashed Potato, which we never had as children. My mum never bought that. She just bought potatoes and made it all herself. I recently, in the last 6 months or so, have discovered the delights of smashed potato. I love it. I generally have a portion of that when I come in from work. I'll have some smashed potato, possibly with vegetables or gravy or baked beans, and over a corn steak. Absolutely delicious. Smashed potato. I think one of my favourite ones of all time was the British Airways one, We'll Take More Care of You, which was ultra patriotic. I have played it on the show a couple of times. I haven't got it up in front of me at the moment. But if you remind me, I won't play too many adverts now. We'll cut the adverts here. But if you ask me on tomorrow's show, ask me to play you the British Airways ad, We'll Take More Care of You. I've got quite a good version of that, all right? Good morning to Andrew Charles. Good morning, Andrews. My gay mate, Billy Bent, says, can he have a blow-up doll of Chris Reardon? No, Andrew, because I don't know what he'd do to it. Terrible things. Some people, what they will do to these dolls, dear. I saw a story this week, talking of dolls, sex dolls. I saw a story this week somewhere that said they were going to bring out this doll and it was going to mimic a human in the way that sometimes it would, how can I put this? It would say no. Well, what's the point in having one of those then? I can't wait for one of these things to come out. No longer will I spend hours trying to chat someone up. No, you just go and buy one of these things and turn it on with the button. And when you've had enough, you turn it off again. No need to talk. You just roll over and go to sleep. Wonderful. Can't wait for one to come out. Morning, Dino. The Chrysler Sunbeam advert Ben was sung by, of course, Petula Clark of Downtown fame. When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. You were singing that then, weren't you? I bet you'll have that song in your head all day long now because I've just sang it. Just listen to the music of the traffic in a city. Linger on the sidewalks where the neon signs are pretty. How can I love it. Love Petula Clark. Paul is going to Rottingdean. That's in Brighton, isn't it? Dave Lynn lives down there, doesn't he? Rottingdean. Christ. Is that a nice area where Dave Lynn lives? I imagine it's sort of like a council estate type grey buildings down there. Am I right, lovey? Is that where Dave Lynn lives? Somewhere like that, Rottingdean. There's a Toby Carvery down there, Paul. Don't go. They're deadly if you're on a Slimmer's World, love. You know, deadly. Endless potatoes. All the stuff is cooked in butter. Oh, it's delicious. I do like a Toby Carvery. John is going to the gym. Oh, is it the first? I'm looking at your picture, John. Would it be the first time you've been, lovey? Because, is it your first time? I'm looking at your pictures and I'm thinking it's the first time that you're going to the gym today. Is that right, lovey? John's gearing himself up to go to the gym, trying to shift my jelly belly. It's blooming hard work. Oh, we had one of those at Slimming World. At Slimming World on Tuesday. Oh, you want to hear the excuses some of them come out with because they put on a bit of weight. And this one, she was there. She hasn't been for a while. And someone said, well, what went wrong? And she says, I don't know, really. It all went a bit wrong at Christmas and I haven't been able to get back on it. Well, that was 6 months ago, love. 6 months ago, and she hasn't been able to get back on the Slimming World because, and I quote, it went a bit wrong at Christmas. Now, are we actually halfway through the year, or is that on the 25th? I always assume because December the 25th, you know, is Christmas Day. So January, February, March, April, May, June. Does that mean that June the 25th is halfway through the year? I'm not sure. How about that? It's nearly 6 months now since Christmas. Time to start saving up for my next Christmas present, boys and girls. Thank you very much. Have you ever seen Red Karaoke? No. No, I don't know what that is, Red Karaoke. Don't know what it is. Ross, if you buy a van, you need the Sun newspaper, Sun pornos, and loads of rubbish on the dashboard. It's the law. Is that? Yeah, it sounds like my nephew's car, that does. Oh, my God, my nephew Jimmy. He fixes car bodywork. That's his job. He's got his own little business, you know, smashing out dents and repair. He's overloaded with work. He's so busy. He's done so well, my 21-year-old nephew. And the other nephew's done very well as well. He works for himself as well. He buys stuff, or sometimes gets it free, off eBay and from friends and people where he lives. He fixes it up and sells it on. That's how he makes his money. The one who fixes the cars, his car is an absolute tip. God knows. Oh, he's not with his girlfriend anymore. But God knows how on earth he takes his girl out in his car, or used to take his girlfriend out in his car. It was a tip. Cans, you know, sweet wrappers, just dust and everything in this car. You never seen anything like it. God. Tony, we'll take good care of you was also used as a taunt on the football pitches. I didn't know that. Instead of we'll take good care of you, it used to be we will astonish you, Archibald, a Tottenham player. I don't know that. I didn't know that. Weird City Assistant is in Worthing, are you? Oh, I know Worthing. Yeah, down that way. You're not too far away from Bracklesham Bay, are you? Bracklesham Bay way. I know where that is. Paul, they drink it in the Congo. What was that one? Was it lilt? Lilt with the tropical taste or something like that, wasn't it? Which would probably now be classed as racist, I suppose. Won't see that advert back on the telly, will we? Andy loved to go to Stonehenge and watch one of the Solstice events one year. Yeah, well, a lot of people do. Indeed, one of the stories I've got here today, it says, revelers have been celebrating the summer solstice at Stonehenge this morning. This is in the Sun this morning. Now, the Sun seems to have their own... They have a picture of a weather forecaster, which is generally a different weather forecaster every day. Right? They're not the same weather forecasters as see at the BBC, but the ones that the Sun have got seem a bit odd looking to me. I don't know if you've seen them at all. Anyone buy the Sun or look at the Sun online? They have usually a picture of a weather forecaster, and I think you can play the video, but they all look a bit odd. A bit scary. I'm glad that I don't look scary in any way, shape or form. Yes. Anyway, the story goes, Sunseekers celebrated the summer solstice this morning at Stonehenge as 2 weeks of heat is running in from the Azores. Where's that then? Is that Portugal, the Azores? Where's that? Is that UK? Don't know where it is. Is that part of Europe? Are we divorcing? Are we going to have to play the Azores extra money now because we're not going to be in the EU? Today marks the longest day of the year. Probably for some of you, this is like the longest show of the year as well. As crowds gathered at the famous stone circle to watch the sunrise ahead of 16 hours of sunshine. Bring me sunshine, bring me smiles, bring me happiness all the while. I know I get the words wrong. Instead of looking for faults, try and be a bit positive. Can people try and be a bit positive today? Can we get positivity today? Is that possible? Hello to Rob in the Wirral, who writes on the subject of adverts on the telly, there's a moose loose about this. Yes, about this house. I remember that one. There's a moose in the hoose. Yes, I remember. That's Maynard Wine Gums. Right, Maynard Wine Gums. And the bongo ones, that was Unbongo. They drink it in the Congo. There you are. Thank you to Rob in the Wirral for sending that in. By the way, boys and girls, don't forget, if you're not near a computer and you're watching it on a telly and you can't text on a Facebook or something, you can always text in a message on your phone, okay? 07551 259 675. If you can use another method, use the other method, all right? And we kind of, I've only got, it's like just a phone basically. Here's the text message, right? It's just an old iPhone that I've got set up there, especially for people who, because we like to include everyone. For people who can't do it in any other method. So if you've got no other way of doing it, you can always send a text message in and I'll pick that up on the phone, okay? 07551 259 675. That's not a phone-in number. You won't be able to call in on that, all right? Back to the story. The rising sun only reaches the centre of the ancient stone circle on one day for each year. Crowds of devotees... I've got those devotees. I've got devotees to my programme. They're all waiting outside the front door now. Oh, yes. Didn't you know that? People are waiting now outside for me to finish the show. Right, then I go downstairs and I make a cup of tea and I open the door and I go ahead and shake people's hands. Thanks ever so much for a wonderful show today, Chris. And they're all shaking my hands like this. All out there now, yeah. And sometimes people find out where I'm going swimming. They turn up. Yeah, and you can see them. They're very strange-looking people. They usually got on, small swimming shorts or bikinis that are far too small for them. And I get in the pool, and they're pretending to read newspapers and things and you can see them looking over the top of the newspaper, pointing, that's him. I have devotees. I do. I have devotees, yes. The rising sun, crowds of devotees, often dressed for the occasion, regularly converge to watch the moment the sun rises above the hailstone. And with the summer solstice comes the promise of 30 degrees centigrade heat. For those of you that don't know what that is, including me, that's about 90 Fahrenheit. Proper temperatures, dear. 90 Fahrenheit. Heat that is said to last until July. Don't say when July, though. Is that July the 31st or July the 1st? Sweltering temperatures are predicted to arrive by the end of this week and will keep the country baking until the end of the month. So we got no let up in the fact that there's no rain here in Berkshire, as I say, for weeks and weeks. All right. So that's the summer solstice there for you. Ben says, I feel sorry for the Druids in April and October, setting Stonehenge forwards and backwards an hour. Yeah, and all those clothes they wear, they've got the hats, haven't they? They've got the hats. Have they got the point? Is it the Druids that wear pointed hats? No, that's someone ghastly, isn't it? Oh, no, it's a Ku Klux Klan. Horrible people. They got the pointed hats, haven't they? What do the Druids have certain types of hats? Or do they have similar hats? Am I getting confused there somehow? I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure. Tony says, do you mean the French Azores? They are a group of islands. Oh, are they? What, the Azores? A little group of islands? Well, how comes they got all the sunshine then? That's just greedy. Greedy. We got the money, they got the sunshine. Which would you rather have? Oh, that's a hard question, isn't it? Let's have a look there. Now, I must tell you about the quiz. The quiz of the week, hosted by Chris Reardon. Has finished. It has finished. Okay, last night was our last Wednesday night quiz at the King's Head Theatre Bar. All together now. Oh, I've lost a night's work. Oh, God, I can't afford to eat, let alone pay. I may have to go off air. I can't afford the electric bill anymore. No, it's not all bad news. It hasn't actually finished. We are moving it. Now, as you well know, as a regular viewer and a devote, as the word was used, not by me, but by someone else, as a devotee of this programme, you will know that the quizzes, we've really been struggling with this quiz over the last few weeks. We're talking one team some weeks. One team, okay? And I've been saying to you since January, when it started struggling in January, but they kept it going. I said, no, it's because it's after Christmas. We must keep it going. And then it picked up. It picked up for about 8 weeks, and we went from 2 teams to like 8 suddenly. And it stayed there, 8 teams, and then suddenly, bang, it was got to go. It wasn't a gradual thing. This is the thing. Wasn't gradual. It just stopped working. It's simple as that. Now, this happened, interestingly enough, with a karaoke night as well. The one in Sydenham. Do you remember the one in Sydenham? Which over time became busy. And then all of a sudden one week, no one there. And it never recovered. The same things happened to the quiz. It's really odd. Now, if it was something that I was doing wrong or the pub was doing wrong, you would expect like a slow decline in people. But for it to go from reasonable to nothing, it's just an odd thing. So we had 8 weeks of good, and then it dropped off just after... let me see if I got it in here, actually. When was Easter? Easter was early, wasn't it? Easter was early. Good Friday. There's Easter in April. So we're all right for a couple of weeks before Easter and just after. And then it just dropped off to like one... And we were really, really struggling. I was saying to you in January, I'm surprised they're keeping it going, but they did. And then I've been saying to them for some time now, look, it's not working. If you want to knock it on the head, that's fine by me. No problem at all with that. Just let us know, okay? And last night they said, could we try another day with the quiz? One of the problems I thought was that there's another quiz about 3 doors down at a place called The Bull. These are both on Islington High Street, okay? Islington High Road, Islington. High Road, High Street, Islington. I think it's High Road. Can't remember the name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Upper Street. That's it. Upper Street in Islington. There's another pub 4 doors or so down. They're doing a quiz now on a Wednesday. That's quite new, that one. But they start at 8 o'clock. We start at 8:30. So they're like in first. I don't know if anyone saw what time we started. Well, let's try and get them earlier. Well, they did. Or at least I thought they did. Right? And I was sort of wondering if that was anything to do with it. Well, last night, we've got a new boss now at the King's Head Theatre Bar. Her name is Alex, who's great. I had a good laugh with her last night. She's a nice girl. All these managers are like half my age now. Anyway, she's great, and I had a bit of a laugh with her. And I said to her, I just wonder if it's anything to do with the pub next door. She said, oh, I'll go in and have a look. I said, well, it starts at 8. Give it 20 minutes to get going and then go and have a look. So she went there. And just before I started at 8:30, I ended up with, I think, 4 teams to start with last night, one of which dropped out because they went out for something to eat. So they were left with 3. And she came back in, she said, well, it's not us. They've only got 3 teams as well. Oh, right, okay. But there's quite a few people in there watching the football. So it may be that actually that isn't the reason we've gone quiet. Don't know why. It's a reasonably expensive pub, I think, the King's Head Theatre Bar. On the other hand, it's not expensive for London. It's about average. It's expensive to come out for a night to London. It is. You know, you go up north and you get a pint of lager, I don't know, for £2.80 or something like that. Down here, it's a £5. I know people that they buy doubles, you know, double vodka and lemonade. That's £8. Jeez, I mean, how many of those can you afford in a night? £8 for one drink. But nevertheless, that doesn't appear to be the problem. However, the fact that we've been struggling for so long now on a Wednesday, it's just, to be frank with you, it's pointless. Absolutely pointless. It takes me 2 hours to get there. It took over 2 hours last night. 2 hours and 5 minutes it took me to get to work last night. One of the reasons for that is we've got the ghastly people from Ascot round here at the moment, and they clog up all the roads as they're coming out after watching these horses and all getting drunk at the blooming race course and stuff like that. So they're all coming out of there at the same time as I'm trying to get out of Bracknell as well. So it was over 2 hours ago. Mind you, it's normally 2 hours to get to work now, whether I'm going on a Monday, Wednesday or Friday. It's terrible. It's really bad driving in and out of London at the moment. Oh, in and out, in London. Not so bad driving out. That being said, last night on the way home took me an hour and 35 minutes to get home because they decided to dig up the road on the A1 at Holloway Road somewhere. I couldn't see in front. Eventually, I went round the back roads and got past it all because I've got the sat-nav, I've got Waze. So we decided that last night. But what we've decided to do, give it one more roll of the dice and move it to, of all days, a Sunday. Now, when I say of all days, that doesn't mean I don't think that's a reasonable day to try it. Any day is a good day to try it. Doesn't matter what the day is. I don't think with a quiz night, you've got any more chance of getting a busy night, whether it be a Monday, a Wednesday, a Saturday, a Sunday, whatever day. I don't think it matters with a quiz night. I say of all days because, and I'll tell you why, what I've been, this has kind of just fallen in my lap, right? What I wanted was 4 days of work and 3 days off. Up to yesterday, my week was from Monday on, off, on, off, on, off. Okay? So once again, do that right. Monday, okay, on, off, on, off, on, off. That was my week. And it's a bit broken up. As you know, as a regular viewer to the show, you know I want to start going up north to visit my sister and her children and her children's children more regularly. So what I want is 3 days a week off. And now I've got them from now. How weird is that? So now I've got on, off, on. How perfect is that? How has that just fallen into my lap like that? So we're going to give it one more roll of the dice. And we're going to try it on a Sunday night. Not from this Sunday, because that would mean you've got to give it a little bit of a run up. Otherwise, people just don't know it's happened, you see. So we're not going to do it this Sunday. So we're going to be back there on Sunday, July the 1st. 8:30 to 10:30, and we'll give it one more. When I say one more roll of the dice, we'll run it for a few weeks and see what happens. It may work, it may not, but there's room for a quiz. If I don't think something's going to work, I don't take the job. It's as simple as that. If I think there's a chance that we can do something, then I'll do it. But it's pointless coming all that way, you know, and I'm, as I say, I've never led by money. I just want something to work. I want it to work. So we'll see if that works. So King's Head Theatre Bar quiz on Wednesdays, finished, okay? King's Head Theatre Bar Sunday night quiz starts on Sunday, July the 1st at 8:30 p.m. So if you're anywhere around North London on that date, it'll be 8:30 to 10:30. So not late either. Plenty of time to get home and up for work the next morning. Same as before, I think we got a £30 bar tab up for prize. Second prize is a bottle of wine. And of course, it will be completely free to play. There is no charge to go in the quiz. All right. So from Sunday, July the 1st, the brand new, moved King's Head Theatre Bar quiz, which I hope one or two will be able to attend. Good morning to the lovely Mary Warren. Good morning, Mary. And how many machines are you attached to this morning? Am I coming out of one of your machines? That'd be a good idea, Mary. You know, those people that got tubes in their arm feeding in antibiotics and chemo things and stuff like that. I wonder if there was a way of also putting in those tubes small little receivers so that people can continue to listen to me while they're under the knife or things like that. Is that a good idea, Mary? Non-Irish Mary from Ireland is in the house. Good evening, Mary. All right. Perhaps Mary's been to one of my quizzes, hasn't you? I think she came last. Surprised there was enough room on the table for you and him. Good morning to Merlin, who says, I find Euston Road is getting worse and worse. You're not wrong, Merlin, it is. Now, here's the thing, Merlin. Last night I noticed that at last the roadworks that were just after, coming in, just before Baker Street Station, those roadworks, I think they were building a new petrol station on that corner there. Well, that's gone now, and it's still no better. Euston Road has definitely got worse and worse in the last 6 months. I don't know what they're doing there. It's annoying. Hello to SOS Gregorian, who is on holiday in Armenia. Am I very popular there? In Armenia? Is there like statues of me and things like that in Armenia, I wonder? Ben says there was only one team the other week and even they lost. I had 3 teams last night. Can you believe this? Are you ready for this? I couldn't believe this. Last night, the quiz was won by a team of millennials. How did they do that? How did they do that? And I was so disappointed. Not one of them was offended last night by anything I said. I'm going to have to try harder next week. No, I can tell you why they won. I know why they won. Right, and the reason the millennials won last night was last week a group of a lovely young couple, Ross and his girlfriend. They played last week, and what we've been doing is that the winner of that week's quiz gets to choose the theme of next week's one. So these two last week, they were a young couple as well. So they chose the theme the noughties. So the whole quiz, barring the current affairs round, was about the noughties, the music round, the picture round, and a set of questions. So that's why the millennials won last night. Now, we didn't get them to choose the theme for the next one because we're moving to a Sunday. So that Sunday, the 1st of July, that first quiz will be like just a general one, okay? I'll let you know the rounds as we come up towards the quiz. I haven't set that up, but we will always have like a current affairs quiz there. So that's how the millennials won last night. They were a lovely group of people, actually. 3 Aussies. There was one Aussie bloke there. I can't remember what I was saying there. Something about... Oh, what was it now? But anyway, one of the Aussie millennial blokes. Aussie blokes are great. They are great. They're not worried about political correctness or anything like that. And I said, oh, thank God there's some of the Aussie lads in here. I said, because I used to go around doing quizzes and karaoke nights in various bars, and the straight lads would often slap my arse as I'm walking around and saying, are you all right, you old puff? Which I used to love. I used to love that. Whack. You're right, you old puff. Come here, give us a kiss. And you'd get a kiss from the straight lads. They're frightened to do that now in the UK. Oh, in case it offends someone. Oh, I don't want to offend you. Oh, please don't. Oh, come on, lads. Get on with it. The Aussie lads, not bothered by any of this. They carry on doing it. And this one last night informed me that he did know a group of 20 Aussie rugby players that he could have over here for me next week. So I'm looking forward to that. They're frightened to do it now in case they end up on the front page of the Sun or the Daily Mail or get dragged into... They're probably worried in 20 years' time when I'm 75... God. I'll be 75 in 20 years. That is really scary. That's really scary. Anyway, they're frightened, in case they end up on the front page or dragged into court because they were inappropriate behaviour. Oh, I can't. I'm sorry, Chris. I can't. I'm English and I can't slap your bum anymore because I'm straight and you're gay and I don't want to offend you and it might be classed as inappropriate behaviour. No! Listen. If I'm walking out anywhere, doing a job or in the supermarket and you want to slap my arse, you do it. Try not to hurt me. I'm very happy for you to go whack. Are you all right, you old puff? I'm happy that you will do that. In fact, I will be offended if you don't. That's what I could do, couldn't I? I could go in there next time I'm in there or wherever. And if I don't get my arse slapped, I'll go up to some lad. Excuse me. Do you get offended easily? Are you a millennial? Yes. Oh, will you get offended easily? At which point they'll be offended because I've said they're going to be offended. I said, well, you've offended me tonight. Why is that then? You haven't slapped my arse. What? You haven't slapped my arse. Why haven't you slapped my arse? Oh, well, that would be inappropriate behaviour. Yeah, but that's offensive. I don't consider it inappropriate. Listen, these people who are offended by it, you've got to turn it back at them. It's the only way you are going to win with this. You need to turn it back on them. All these people are offended. I had an incident on Saturday. Minor incident. From a friend of mine, actually. And I'd used the ladies' toilets. Now, just to let you know, in a gay pub, which is where I work, a gay pub, which doesn't necessarily mean only gays. Everyone's allowed. Everyone comes in there. It's a great place. Okay? It was known as a gay place. It's probably more mixed now than it's ever been. But nevertheless, in a gay pub, we use the ladies' toilets. And I said this on the show the other day. I hate using the toilet where the door doesn't come from the top to the bottom. You know those doors that are like in the middle and they've got a gap? I can't stand that. So I use the ladies. We all use the ladies. I come out of there. There's a lady standing there. Now, I know she's probably quite politically correct and is into all this inappropriate business and all this and that. You've just used the ladies' toilets. Yes. Well, it's the ladies. Yeah, well, what's wrong with that? Well, you're not a lady. But I am identifying myself today as a lady. What do you mean? I said, well, they're the ladies' toilets. I am a man. Okay? But for the period of time that I used the ladies' toilets, I am now self-identifying as a woman. But you can't. Why is it wrong to self-identify as whatever I want? Well, no, you can be whatever you want. Well, therefore, I self-identified as a woman for the period of time that I entered and exited the toilet. Is that okay? And I walked off. You've got to throw it back at them. It's the only way to deal with it. I'm telling you now. Let's have a look here. Mary's getting zapped at 4 o'clock. She's got a little bit of radiotherapy going on there, haven't you? Is it like radiotherapy? Is it like a sort of you know those X-ray machines that they have in dentists? It's like a cone thing, isn't it? And they point it and they do. And the bloke goes and hides 3 miles away in another room, doesn't he, when he pushes the button? I mean, how dangerous are these damn things, dear? These X-rays. Anyway, Mary's having a little bit of radiotherapy today, and I think they point something at you, don't they, or something like that, and radio waves come out. I wonder if any of those radio waves will be carrying my signals, and you can continue to listen to me while you're having your radiotherapy, Mary. Bzzz. Can you just imagine that? You're laying there You know, probably a bit worried, let's be honest. You know, but you're worried and suddenly you hear my voice coming into your head. How wonderful would that be? Or perhaps you'd like me to sing a hymn. How about Immaculate Mary? I like that one. You know that one. Immaculate Mary, our hearts are on fire. How many verses would you like? That title so wondrous fills all our desire. Do you want the chorus as well? Ave, Ave, Ave Maria, Ave, Ave, Ave Maria. Now, just to warn you, there's about 18 verses of that. I can do them all if you request it. I'll wait for a request, perhaps. Good luck today, Mary. All right, darling. You didn't set the Google blocker on. I certainly have got my Google, but I've got ad blocker. I've got ad blocker. Wonderful, that is. Merlin, from the Pullman at St Pancras to Baker Street in a car can take me 40 minutes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's terrible, the Euston Road. You'll be quicker to walk that, Merlin. You'd be quicker to walk that journey. It's awful. How's the caravan hunting going? I've seen one so far. I've got two to look at this weekend. One which has central heating. Now, I don't know if we've got Adam the plumber. And see, Adam doesn't do central heating. He doesn't do that sort of central heating. Here's a question for you, because my nephew went round to have a look at the outside of this caravan, one of the caravans I'm going to look at this weekend. And the bloke happened to be in there. So he starts talking to him. Now, the bloke has got central heat. We've got central heating in this one. Now, perhaps someone can tell me this. The bloke has told my nephew that he replaced the boiler in his caravan with a domestic household boiler because, and I quote, it works better than the caravan one. Now, that don't sound right to me. Does that sound wrong to anyone? Or can a normal domestic boiler perhaps be converted to run on basically propane, LPG, isn't it? So does anyone know the answer to that? In any case, what I would do if this one's all right and this one's suitable for me and I buy it, I would get someone in, you know, to check that sort of gas. You don't muck about with gas. You do not muck about with gas. You know, so one of the first things I would do is have the installation checked out. If the bloke's done it himself, which I mean, he might be quite able to do those sort of things. He might be one of those blokes who can do that sort of thing. You know, I'm not someone who would muck around with gas. But can you use a normal domestic household boiler in a caravan? That appears to be what he's done. Apparently, it's been in there 2 years and he haven't had any problems. But I don't want it with leaks. I don't want to be gassed while I'm asleep, dear. It's bad enough with the wind coming out of me, let alone coming out of a pipe. Awful. So that's that's where we are on the caravan at the moment. I'm going to see one, hopefully two at the weekend. I've got to send someone a message. There's my sister, Sharon Butler. Shall I do a T-shirt with slap my bum? Yes, please, Sharon. That's my sister, Sharon Butler there. I'm looking at. Can you get Jimmy's mates and Gary's mates to slap my bum when I go into the pub and see them all in there? I quite like that, sis. I think it's the only attention I'm going to get now. Dear. Oh, let's have a look here. Up on the YouTube. Oh, I'm a bit behind with these messages now. Let's have a look. Tony says it's cheaper for people to stay in now at weekends. I remember, as I'm sure you do, most nights of the week were packed and there was always some kind of event to look forward to. Yeah, in all pubs. In all pubs. You could go in all pubs, certainly in the 70s and 80s, and they were always generally busy. If you go to Australia, you'll find the pubs are always busy there at all times as well. They're still very pub-orientated in Australia. Tony says, I hate quizzes, Chris, but the Cancer is a Drag Cancer charity held a quiz at a pub in Chislehurst a few weeks ago, and the room was packed with over 100 people there on a Thursday evening. Well, that sounds good, doesn't it? That sounds fantastic. Weird citizen, everyone's walking on eggshells. Not me, mate. No, I just tell you how it is. I think you've got to just tell people how it is, and if they don't like it, so be it. You know, go away then. Don't talk to me. It's as simple as that. I think we've got to get to that point now. I'm not going around worrying that people are going to be offended because an inappropriate comment. No, not inappropriate comment, humorous comment. There's a big difference. Humorous comment. And if you don't see the humour of it, you are humophobic. I've used that one as well. Oh, you're a bit humophobic, aren't you? Oh, what does that mean? Well, you don't find anything funny. You're afraid of humour. No, I'm not. Well, yes, you are, because you didn't find that humour. You found what I said offensive. It wasn't offensive. It was humorous, and you have humophobia. And walk off. Just leave them with that milling around in their sad, pathetic minds. Tony had a curry last night, and he's having a bit of trouble with his tummy this morning, haven't you? God. Blooming well clean the toilet afterwards, you dirty sod. Honestly. Paul says, I took a picture of some trainers, Sports Direct, 2 seconds later, a job's worth, told me that I shouldn't be doing it as it's inappropriate. What, inappropriate to take a picture of a pair of trainers? I said, where are the signs? She said, we haven't got any. It's now inappropriate to go in Sports Direct and take a picture of their trainers. I just give up, I really do. Don't go back in there. Paul told her to sod off and left. I would as well. Don't go back in there, mate. There you go. Merlin says as well, maybe you should get a T-shirt printed saying you can slap my arse. I think that would be a good idea. Perhaps some sort of... I need to have this shortened. Look at this. This is so big for me now. Since I lost the 2 stone... Some of my clothes need taking in. I've got to find someone to do the jacket. I've got... You kept quiet about that this morning, didn't you, boys and girls? Yes. You've been looking at my chest. No one told me I had too many buttons undone. Maureen's getting very excited, aren't you, Maureen? Gustav, I can confirm that Chris Reardon does like his bum being touched. I've done it repeatedly and I've always been welcomed with a smile, even when I use a paddle. Mary's going to be wearing a mask later on for her radiotherapy. At last, you've seen the light, Mary. You've decided to wear a mask. This will be a great improvement, I'm sure, Mary. Is it like the mask in Halloween? Is it Halloween with that mask like that? You must... Can you get someone to take a picture of you in the mask, Mary? And I will display it. If you're not at Central Station for a while, I can put the picture up instead. So it's just like you're there. Good morning to Billy Watkins this morning. Morning, Billy. Shane Cameron. Morning, Shane. Welcome to the show. You're really late in, aren't you? God, we're about to go now, mate. And as I said to you right at the beginning of the show, I've got all these stories lined up. Now we're out of time. It's almost finished. Does Sharon Butler still get spanked with Women's Weekly on webcam, or is her Babe Station now over? Yes, a lot of you don't know. On a more serious note, boys and girls, my sister used to have her own show on Babe Station, and she was on there for about 6 weeks. Unfortunately, she got sacked. She is the only woman ever to be sacked from Babe Station because no one rang her. Please, no, don't laugh. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's my sister we're talking about here, right? They tried everything. They put her on really late at night when all the blokes come home from the pub drunk. I thought maybe they ring her now. Nothing. I spent £30 ringing her just to keep her in a job. No phone call. Nothing. No one phoned her. It's very sad, really, isn't it? My sister, the only woman ever sacked from Babe Station. Terrible. Really terrible. Thank you, Mary. She's going to get a photo of her in the mask. That's excellent. Billy's going to her sister and brother-in-law's caravan in Conwy. Where is Conwy? I don't know where that is. Conwy, Billy. I'm looking to get one up north. At the moment, I'm at the cheaper end of the scale. I'm hoping to pick one up for a certain price, up to a certain price. I know if I spent that amount, and it's more than double what I'm looking to spend, but I know if I spent that amount, then I would get what I wanted. Okay, I've seen the site and the type of caravan that I've basically been hiring. I could get one of those, but it means spending actually 2.5 times as much. I mean, I could raid the pension fund if I wanted to on one of those drawdown things. I know. Pension fund, I know. I could raid that. I don't think it would be much of a problem, really. But I'm trying to do it, for that. I'm going to look at a few more and see if I can find one for sort of the money that I'm kind of want to spend, rather than have to spend to get what I want. And it's a bit like buying a house, really, Karen. You've got to look at lots of them. And they're all going to be different. Some are going to be overpriced. Some are going to be underpriced. You're looking for the underpriced ones. You've got some sort of idea in your head. You can decorate the inside of a caravan. I have no interest in doing something like that myself. But I would have to get someone to do it. A professional person to decorate the caravan as you want it. And you just like a house, except much cheaper to decorate because it's so small. So you could buy an older one. If you're prepared to wait a little bit for it to be decorated and all this, that and the other, then all well and good. But that's the general idea. And for God's sake, I've worked like 35 years now. I've worked ever since I left school. When I left school at 18, I stayed on for an extra year. Complete and utter waste of time that was. I was just frightened to go out to work. That's why I stayed at school. I was frightened to meet other people. I think that's why I stayed at school. But a waste of time, really. Waste of time. Oh, it's in Wales, is it? In Wales. In the valley. Is it in the valley? In Wales. Thank you. Mary says, I buy with you if you owe my scooter. Have you got a scooter as well? Oh, she's got an electric scooter now. Oh, I'll be mowed down, won't I? Watch out for Mary and the motorised scooter. Oh, yes. Don't forget to plug it in, Mary. There's nothing worse than going down to your local Waitrose and going around the milk aisle and suddenly, your battery is dead. And then you sit there, because you know what they're like in Waitrose. The staff might come and help you, but the customers won't. They're so far up their own arses. It's unbelievable in Waitrose. No one will help you, Mary. You will be marooned in the middle of Waitrose. You'll be there forever and a day, and gradually you'll dehydrate. And then 3 weeks later, a member of the Waitrose staff will come round and notice, oh, who's left this prune on this wheelchair in the middle of the milk aisle? And it will actually be you, where you've dehydrated so much and no one has bothered to help. You're just this little prune in the middle of a electric motorised chair. Oh, look, how kind is Paul? Give me your sister's number and I'll give her a call. Tony wants to know, what is this thing about putting cameras up women's skirts? What if they put camera in your Calvins, Chris? I don't wear Calvins. I've got top man pants now. Would you like to see a pair? One moment, please. I shall bring you a pair of my pants. Not a lot of people have seen these, unfortunately. No one sees my pants anymore, really. Oh, well, I'll go and get them to show you. What colour would you like? Red? Blue? Here we are. These are the red ones. Now, they're a little bit faded because they're not brand new. These are my little red pants. Do you like these? Look. Oh, a bit of a... Might get some new ones. Oh, I know that... I reckon there's at least another 3 years' wear of use of wearing these. These are my red top man pants. They're all right, aren't they? Do you iron? No, you notice I don't iron them. Look, the cutest arse in London resides in these pants usually. That's not bad, is it? Who would like to win these as a memento as me? You see, I have to be so careful leaving these around the sports changing room at the swimming pool. Fans try and steal my underwear, it's true. Right, I'm going. Listen, I've got to go because we've got to go swimming now. You could have modelled them. I'm not putting them on as a modelling. No skid marks. Of course not, dear. I got clean bottom. Not like you, Paul. I bet you make a terrible mess in that toilet of yours, don't you? Awful. Tony said they could get a telescope in there, Chris, and see the moon at the same time. Now, listen, I was going to say that as well. Upskirting. If you want to take pictures of me walking around, with your camera like that, that's okay by me, all right? Don't worry, not taking you to court, not going to pretend to be a victim on the television or anything like that. I haven't got ready You know, put a nice jacket on and a nice pair of figure-hugging jeans. I haven't got ready and spent all that time getting ready for you not to take pictures of me. You take as many bloody pictures as you want and pin them all over your wall. Nothing would make me happier than seeing pictures of me that you've taken up my shorts or anything like that, plastered all over walls and places like that. You carry on. All right? Let's do today's birthdays. I only got 4 birthdays to read out today. Happy birthday today to the delightful Ray Belasco, who was with us earlier this morning. Ray is actually in his 50s. I didn't know that. Happy birthday, Ray. 51 today, you lovely man. Happy birthday, Ray. Happy birthday today to Tony Lowe. Now, are you one of our carrier? Yes, Tony, one of our carrier. Oh, I haven't seen for some time. Tony, where have you been, dear? Have I upset you or offended you in any way? I do hope not, my love. Come and give us cuddles and kisses. Happy birthday to Tony Lowe. Happy birthday to you, sir. Stuart Deacon. Happy birthday to young Stuart. Doesn't say your age there, Stuart. I think you might be in Brighton. I'm not sure. And David Bloomfield's birthday as well today. So happy birthday to you all, gang. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Ray, Tony, Stuart and David. There we are. There's your birthdays. All right. Have a lovely day on this Thursday. I've got a nice day today. I've got nothing to do this morning. I'm going. I haven't had my pills yet, have I? Oh, I'm late with those. So I'm going to have my pills. Then I'm going swimming. Then I come back here for a bit of lunch. And tonight, hopefully, I'm meeting up with my friend Gareth, who I haven't seen for a while, over down in Greenwich, actually. I'm going to Greenwich today. We're hopefully going out for a pizza. And possibly we might go and see the dinosaur film, if that's on there at the moment. I'd quite like to see that. I go and see the 2D versions. I don't like going to see 3D films. They always seem a bit dim to me. Do they you? Go into these 3D and like the dark bits, and I can't see what's going on. So I don't bother with 3D films anymore. I go and see the 2D versions. All right. Weird City Citizen says, bye, Chris. Bye, all. No splashing those old dears. Leave them alone. There we are. Mary wishing Ray happy birthday as well. Thanks ever so much, boys and girls. Have a lovely Thursday. Time for me to get on my bike, and I'll see you hopefully again tomorrow morning around about the same time, 9:30. All right. Thanks for watching and listening. Cheerio now.